So I thought I would open today with some thoughts on a very frightening scene with Damar Hamlin Monday night in Cincinnati. There's been a lot of criticism by the media of the NFL of not canceling the game immediately. And, one of the things that I've learned running the volume, and the volume, we're up to about 30 employees, is that our rule at the volume is let's just get it right. Whatever process it takes, let's just get it right. Communication in this world, some of us are in Delaware, some of us are in Sarasota, Florida. I'm in Los Angeles. People are all over the country, different time zones. My staff often is doing this at 1 a.m. Why it's only 9:30, 10 for me. And I try to think about that. Let's just get it right. But it's not easy, right? Communication's not easy. And I'm dealing with young people, good communicators, very verbal, good with tech. So when Monday night happened, a lot of people weren't happy with the timeline. A lot of media people very critical of the NFL. And if you're an actor, they say the greatest challenge is doing Broadway. Why? Because it's live. TV films are edited. I always find that broadcasting is much harder than this podcasting. Why? Because it's live. Business is harder when it's live. I have known in my life 25 people who have worked for professional sports franchises. An NFL game live, game day, is a massive, massive undertaking. The NFL had the protocols in place that first responders were on the scene and quite possibly saved Damar Hamlin's life. That's the win. The NFL called the game. That's the win. I don't want to get too precious on, the coaches are the ones who actually told the officials, who told the league, well, that's okay. Let's say it was a natural disaster. The governor of the state can watch on television, but the governor calls the mayor calls the National Guard leader talks to the people on the ground. They're seeing real emotions, real fear from people in a flood or an earthquake. They're managing from the ground up. We do that a lot at the volume. I manage from my employees up. They tell me what they're capable of doing. That's what the NFL did. They leaned on their coaches who were next to the players, listening to the players cry, watching them sob. And the coaches said, we can't play this game. And the NFL said, in New York, okay, we're canceling the game. I think sometimes, the people writing columns ripping the NFL, you get 3 or 4 chances at a column. You can have lunch during the column, stop writing, have a tuna sandwich, then start again. You have a copy editor. What if your column was live and you got one shot at it? That's why writing on deadline, you're a baseball writer, game ends, goes 12 innings, you have to write, you have one shot, is harder. Is that I think sometimes we have to realize in the media, this stuff's hard. That instead of being upset in the process on how decisions were made, we're thankful that the NFL's got great EMTs, great first responders, very compassionate coaches and players, and that eventually they got Monday night right and hopefully saved Damar Hamlin's life. Live anything is difficult. Think about the NFL business. A big chunk of it is performed not only live, but televised. I mean, just putting a camera on a reality show usually ends up people getting a divorce. Just putting a camera on couples. How many times do you see those couples in a reality show? Eventually, they're separating. It adds stress, live, cameras, go, urgency. I look at that as possibly saving a young person's life, a wonderful young person's life. I'm not going to nitpick the process. I'm just not going to nitpick the process. It's very possible the NFL, they're not watching the CPR. There's a big difference between a player going into an ambulance or on a stretcher and seeing CPR live. Even first responders who've gone through it hundreds of times say that's traumatic. It's intense. You're saving somebody's life. Players seeing that most for the very first time. So, listen, the NFL does things I don't agree with. I don't like a 17th game. I don't like the preseason. There's an argument against Thursday night football. Those are valid arguments. I've never liked the 17th game. You can't tell me safety matters and then want your guys to deal with 60 more punishing punitive hits. You don't need the money, so why are you doing it? It's greed. It's billionaire greed. That's it. But in this instance, I think there's a chance we saved a person's life. That's what I take from what happened Monday night.